We are global pandemic. We are currently suffering from the coronavirus. But since a human being began to organize, to sense on the socially and create a people who live together in the same territory space, the contagious disease took a special role as the world population grew. When a disease spread and affected various regions of the planet, becoming we are the population for the first pandemic began for the documented. This pandemic sometimes transformed the society in which they operate and quite possibly I have a decisive change go influenced our course of history. Of the global pandemic that are now we are coming with the mention the following. It's the first place of the Justinian Peste de Justiniano is bear the name because the epidemic occurred during the mandate of the Emperor Justiniano, and is the first place which evidence we are start and the end of the pandemic in the imperial capital and most for 40% of the population, and throughout the empire for 4 million people being killed. The economic consequences were catastrophic, and there and the time for the numbers of the day exceeded for the numbers of living. The second is the Black Plague, the Peste Negra. It was a continuous for the worst place on the humanity. Since the active of the outbreak of weather is the pandemic with the mask with the lower nurse for the pandemic bulbic. We continues with the viruela. It's saying called viruela virus. The name refers from the punchline on the apparel from the skin or tooth suffered from. I was a serious and extremely contagious disease that increment the world population since its appearance, reaching mortality rates of the 30% on the spread massive the new world when I conquest began to cross the ocean. Terrible, affecting a population with very low defense against the new delay. Fortunately, is one of the only two diseases humanity have navigated or eradicated through vaccination. And finally, the current pandemic right now is the coronavirus or COVID-19. The coronavirus is the broad family of virus that can cause a variety of conditions from common cold on the more serious illness. Coronavirus can be spread from animals from the people, and addition I know that the coronavirus circulates between animals. And even date, the usual recommendations to avoid spreading the infection are good hand and the respiratory hygiene covered from the mouth or for the and wash your hands and evit the cut and made of F light or contact with anyway and respiratory decrease.